everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ravneet and today I'm here with a very exciting update for my Pan That palette this year. I am so excited to share this update with you guys, but before we get started, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel because I make a lot of panning videos. In this update, I am also bringing in another eyeshadow, maybe to finish, but we'll see. But let's begin with our palette first. So this year I'm panning this CoverGirl Chocoholic palette, and I already had a lot of progress on this palette when I started this project. Let's take a look at how this palette looked like last month. My goals were to finish the first shade that's called Loaded. There wasn't a lot of that left either way. And then my other goal was to expand the pan in the last shade so that the only product that is left is around the edges. And I am happy to announce that we were able to achieve both of those goals. And this is how my palette's looking like today. We finished this eyeshadow and this is looking a lot different. I'm gonna explain what happened here. So I was able to clear out that pan and I decided to repress it. So this is how it looked like before repressing. So I actually repressed both of these eyeshadows because this one also had a lot of progress and the product was left on the edges for this as well. And right now, as you can see, this eyeshadow called Cocoa, it's pretty full. So I'm not sure like how long it's gonna take for me to like finish it. We'll try to get it done this year. So I still have 3 months to work on it, and hopefully if I tried so hard, I'll be able to do that. Let's go over numbers. To finish the very first eyeshadow that's called Loaded, it took me 5 uses. And the next eyeshadow was already finished before starting off this project, and then rest of the other eyeshadows were finished during this project. You can check out my previous updates if you haven't already. I will link my Pan That palette playlist down below. Moving on to the next eyeshadow, which was Chocolate Shake. I have used it 11 times this past month and that made a lot of progress on this one. It doesn't have a lot of product remaining either way. I think this is gonna be my next empty and I will focus on this eyeshadow for the month of October to finish it. And then the last eyeshadow is called Cocoa. I used it for a total of 19 times. Before repressing, I used it 17 times, I believe. And then after repressing this eyeshadow, I used it 2 more times to get the number to 19. Since we already have like 2 shades remaining in here, so last time what I did was I introduced No Pan Left Behind challenge in my Pan That palette update because I don't have like a lot to update you guys on this palette. So what I'm trying to do is that I just want to use all of my palettes this year, and some of my palettes were not even used once, which I'm using this project to kind of like reach out for my unused palettes. But before we get to those palettes, I just want to set some goals for this guy right here. Even though we only have 2 eyeshadows remaining in here, I still want to set some goals because that will encourage me to reach out for this one more. So I want to, do I really want to finish it this month? I don't know, because then I will be updating on just like 1 shade. So yeah, my goal for this would be to use half of what's remaining in here. And for this guy right here, let's see, I want to use 1/4 of the product that's left in the pan, which would be this much product from top. So yeah, we'll see how far I can get with this one. Now let's move on to No Pan Left Behind challenge. It's not a challenge, it's just like a project name for me at least. So last month I selected these 3 palettes to use all of the eyeshadows in here at least once. And I am happy to let you guys know that I have done that. I even reached out for a couple more palettes and I have used all shades in there at least once as well, which I'm really excited about. So let's go over the first palette, which is the Subculture. I just want to like show you how it looks like because I've been using it pretty regularly now. I used all of these eyeshadows once and I reached for this eyeshadow called New Wave few times. I think I reached for this eyeshadow at least 3 times. I really like it. And I have Destiny, Untamed, Electric, and Axis in my 50 Shades of Green project pan. So I just want to like use those eyeshadows at least 10 times each. And then moving on to the next eyeshadow palette, that is Norvina from ABH. Honestly, I did not reach for this eyeshadow palette after like using all of the eyeshadows once. I don't know, I think this is like pretty basic palette for me. I like it, but I honestly do not understand all the hype. But again, it might not be targeted towards me because I kind of like just enjoy more fun, colorful stories, and these are like pretty basic shades for me. I think it would be an appropriate work palette for me. And then the third palette is this Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette. It is such a beautiful palette and I really like it. It was so fun using this palette, and I have 4 shades from here in my 50 Shades of Green project pan again, which are Jade, Vibes, Bloodstone, and Raw Energy. I even reached out for like few other shades outside those ones because I really like how the shimmers perform on my eyes. And then the bonus palettes I have used no pan left behind sort of way are Rare Beauty Enchanted palette, and this is how it looks like. Honestly, I'm not so impressed with the formula on this one because it's really hard pressed, and I think that's the reason why I struggle to get some color on my eyes. This eyeshadow is fine, but this is pressed glitter, and I wish like the other shades behaved a bit nicely, but it's understood that all of these are hardly pressed. I received it as a gift, so I will always keep it with me, and I'll try to get use out of this one as much as I can. And the last palette I used this past month fully is this palette from My Glam. I don't know the name of this one. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of this palette. This was gifted to me as well. And this is how it looks like. I was so surprised by the formula on this one. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's still a lot better, and I really enjoyed working with this one. This shade is really cool, iridescent shade, and the other shimmers, they perform really well as well. This is a little bit lackluster, but it is definitely buildable. And I was so surprised to work with this gray. Like, I put it on top of a black base, and it's still translated as gray, like it's still translated as the gray that it looks like in the pan. Overall, this was an ignored palette in my collection. I had never used like all of these shades in here in the past, but now I have known it a little bit better, and I am looking forward to use it a lot more than I did in the past. And the other palettes that I want to use all eyeshadows in for the month of October are this and a few palettes from drugstore brands. This is drugstore as well. This is from Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette. This is how it's looking like, and I have this shade in here called Anaconda in my 50 Shades of Green for uses of 10 times or 10 uses, and I just want to use like the rest of these eyeshadows at least once. And then the next 2 eyeshadow palettes are from Essence. The first one is Ice Ice Baby and the other one is Top It Up. This is how they're looking like. This is Ice Ice Baby, this is Top It Up. I have some uses on these ones, but not a lot. I just want to use all eyeshadows in here at least once. This is not a usage tip, I just accidentally poked it with my nail. Anyway, that is that. The next palette, or I should say quad, is this Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells. It is quite infamous and everyone knows how it looks like. Honestly, I don't remember why I got it, and I think I only got it for nostalgic purposes because I used to buy a lot of makeup from Wet n Wild, and I still have a lot of makeup from Wet n Wild bought in the past. But as I have explored more eyeshadow formulas, I don't think that these are the formulas for me anymore, or maybe like in these new formulated palettes they have formulated again. I haven't tried those. This is really lackluster for me, but still I just want to use all 4 eyeshadows at least once. And then the other eyeshadow that I talked about in the beginning that I want to include is from my Essence Bronzed This Way palette. It is their eyeshadow called No Mistakes. I was using this shade in my eyebrows and I organically hit pan on this one. Like, I used it a few more times to expand the pan, but I was so surprised to see how quickly I hit the pan without even concentrating on one point. So I am working on this one and I will update on this eyeshadow in this project pan as well. We'll see where we get with this one by the end of this year. This eyeshadow was broken and I used what was left of it in my Labor of Love It project pan. So that was everything for this update. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching my video. I'll see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.